Welcome back to the Gaming Source Network, your number one source for everything gaming. I am the all-purpose champ, and I'm an Avery. Oh man, I finally got rid of Avery. You guys excited?
Hey guys, what did I miss? Did we just get the started? Did I miss something?
Avery, how's it going?
Doing good. Why are you in my square, Anthony?
Dan made a mistake, and yeah.
Don't blame me.
Well, we'll take care of that right now. All right. No, I'm kidding. We'll bring it back in. Hey, welcome back to the Gaming Source Network, your number one source for all things gaming. See, I get the tagline right because it's my show. This is the GSN Round Table Podcast, episode 1 of the all-new GSN Round Table Podcast. We say all new. You guys, it's going to be that same podcast you know and love, just with more stuff in it and more awesome people in it and all that good stuff. So today we have, as always, the creator, the founder, the discoverer, the Lara Croft that excavated the tomb that gave us the Gaming Source Network, Stadia Source, and GeForce Now Source. It's Dan Wheeler.
How you doing, everybody?
It's going to get worse every week. On the other side of him, it's the guy that facepalms every time I say something like that. It's Dom. Evening, Dom.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all good.
In the box below Dom, we have the maker and the creator of all the good visual stuff you see around here, and the woman that tells me when the logo is just 1 pixel off from where it needs to be. It's Scarlet Stream.
Avery. Hi, you battery of barracudas.
Oh, that's a good... Oh, okay, hold on.
I don't actually know that one, though.
The blue barracudas, you know, from Legends of the Hidden Temple. I was a blue barracuda, not a... What is it? Orange monkeys. Great. Nobody remembers Legends of the Hidden Temple. Legends of the Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon in the 90s. It's the best thing ever.
That didn't come to the UK.
It's the best thing. It's the best thing ever. And below, in the box on the bottom rung, it's the usurper himself, the all-purpose champ. What's up, Anthony?
What's going on, guys? It was exciting to be Avery today for at least a minute.
You're the only one excited to be Avery. Well, we got a couple of folks who've been waiting patiently for their chance to say hello. You may know our special guest today as the Academy Award-nominated movie-watching hosts of the Speaking of Stadia podcast. It's Aaron and Jake.
We just made a liar out of you. I've never seen an Academy Award-nominated film.
It's not true.
I've only watched Transformers and Fast and the Furious. That's it.
I'm sure Transformers has been nominated for a special effects Oscar.
Probably.
Sure.
Oh, man, you got me.
Boom. Evening, gentlemen. The beardy boys of Speaking of Stadia here join us today. Jake, before the show, Jake, we were all just the hair. And the beard. There's just so much going on. Like he's like a flannel Mumford and Sons album cover come to life.
I need a haircut very badly.
It's amazing.
It's bad.
It's okay. It's okay. So before we actually get started, did you know you can still get the Roundtable as a podcast? Search for Gaming Source Network on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever it is you get podcasts. Also, if you're watching us live, we want you to be a part of the conversation. A ton of folks have already said hi in the chat. Make sure you are one of them. And if you really want to show your support for the Gaming Source Network, hit that super chat button or that super sticker button, and we will be sure to bring you up during the show. Last but not least, you can join Stadia Source and GeForce Now Source and Gaming. There's at least one part I didn't update in the show notes, talk you guys.
You get free pass on this episode.
I get one.
It's a learning curve.
I get one. I got to do a find and replace on that. Right here on YouTube, members get amazing perks from exclusive community play live streams to early access videos to even merch from the GSN store. So click the join button down below to learn more and become a member. Thank you to whoever it is that is the anonymous dinosaur in Google Docs who's currently
with the dinosaur? Yes.
You are. Oh, Scarlet is anonymous dinosaur today. So thank you. Before we get started, let's take a moment to learn a little bit more about the amazing gentleman behind Speaking of Stadia. Jake and Aaron, you've been on the show before, but for those who are not familiar with you, tell us a little bit about your history of gaming, how you got interested in Stadia, and then tell us about Speaking of Stadia. We'll let I would say we'll let the beardy one go first, but we'll let luxury beard go, and then we'll let sensible beard go afterwards. announcements. So, Jake, you go first.
So my coming to Stadia was I actually was part of the Project Stream beta. Was really into it then when they announced that. I was so sold on that I was waiting for the eventual announcement of Stadia and been on board since then. I actually am not. I think both Aaron and I are actually not. Aaron, it's that way. Not founders actually technically on Stadia because I just had my daughter was just born around the same time of Stadia's launch. Is actually October. So I was worried about me being a paranoid parent. I worry about finances. Like I can't justify this purchase, whatever. So I canceled my founders, but then ended up getting a guest code from someone like one of that first week. So I've been in since essentially day one, just not founder off the bat. But I mean, Aaron and I have been talking for a while about just doing video game podcasts in general, or doing something for some content in general. And we both enjoyed Stadia and decided to go for a Stadia podcast. So I started around I think last May was our first episode.
So just about a year now. Crazy.
Nice.
I also had the Founders pre-ordered, and then I pre-ordered the Pixel 4, and they gave me $100 to the Google store. And I was like, well, that's just a free Stadia. So I canceled my Founders edition, didn't care that they were going to put numbers by my name, and then just used the free gift to order my just normal edition. And now I have regret every time I see numbers by my name. I'm like, you know what? It probably would have been worth it. I could have just been this cool founder, and now I wanted to save the money. So
literally was one of the main reasons I got the Founders Edition was because I wanted to have the name claimed immediately.
Oh, me too. But I regret it so badly now. Like it feels terrible seeing the numbers, but oh well.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what, guys? I've been a fan of Speaking of Stadia for quite some time. I've been listening to you guys for a while, and I think you think it a good. I have this weird idea. I'm just going to shoot off the hip here. Totally, it's the first time you've heard this. What would you guys say to, I don't know, Speaking of Stadia becoming a GSN podcast?
Can you?
All in favor, say aye.
I think me and Jake need to talk about it. Can you just remove us from stream for about 5 seconds?
Yeah, hold on. Let's just, you guys, okay. So you guys, I think, they're nice guys, and you can't argue with the beard and the hair and everything. Like, I mean, come on. Like
the luxurious hair.
It's just so much. So, okay, well, you guys have had some time.
We talked about it, and we're in. I think that's
we're okay with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, we had big announcements to make, and we were not done yet. Officially, Speaking of Stadia has joined the GSN family. So these lovely guys down here have been a part of our team for a couple of weeks now. We're just sitting there like we can't say anything yet, but it's happening, and it's so great to have them on board for their show. Show's going to stay the exact same as it is now. Every other Monday night, you're going to be able to tune in, get the latest news and discussion about Stadia stuff. Their awesome favorite contributors that they have, like Fee, will continue to participate. And you just get more of these guys on our channel going forward. So we will still have the flagship Stadia podcast on our network. Speaking of Stadia, right here with these guys.
And to add to that announcement, right before the show, she's in chat, but Fiona has agreed to come on and be a part-time reoccurring guest. So you won't see her every other Monday, but she's going to start being on a lot more than we've seen her in the past. We're super excited. And then if her schedule frees up, she knows she has an open invite to be full-time with us whenever.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic. Welcome, Fiona. It is so important to have. We love our beardy white dudes, but any opportunity that GSN has to promote other voices is happy to do it. And Fiona says hi. Hi, Fiona. So welcome to the team. Remind me, Fiona, we'll DM, and I got to get you in the Slack and the whole 9 yards. So welcome to semi-regulardom as a part of the GSN team, and welcome to Jake and Aaron. So excited to have you guys on. So stay tuned. There's some questions in the chat already, and people who are always like, Speaking Stadia is very cool. We agree. That's the whole reason I reached out to them, was like, hey, why don't you guys come on down and join us right here on our side of the world. So you will be able to tune in right here to the GSN channel on every other Monday and catch Speaking of Stadia live right here. You can still follow them on Twitter at Speak of Stadia. You'll see some new designs and banners and little extra things popping up here in the next couple of days. And we will be, they are a part of the team. They're one of our flagship podcasts. You'll still see them in your podcast feed. You'll still see them on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So excited to have John Krasinski and Aaron join our team officially this week. So welcome,
I saw
welcome,
that
welcome.
comment from Bat Pixie, and
people.
I introduce him every week on Speaking of Stadia as my favorite John Krasinski on the internet. So we all very much are in concurrence that Jakey here is our favorite John Krasinski.
It's some good news on GSN, SGN on GSN.
Yeah, that's right.
That could work. So good to have you guys on the show. Let's jump in and kick off, as we always do, with a little discussion of what we have been playing. And this week, I'll start at the end and go back this way. So last and certainly least, Anthony, what have you been playing this week, Stadia or otherwise?
You know what I'm gonna say?
Stacks on stacks on stacks,
baby.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh, guys, there's so many people have been buying this game now. It's crazy. Like the buzz is coming back. Okay, Marvel Avengers, come on, Scarlet. That's my number one game right now. Yeah, what else have I been playing? I think I just been playing Marvel Avengers like crazy.
Prep it. Get level 50s in time for Wakanda.
Well, they still up in the air about it, but yeah, man, trying to get my my characters ready.
Very cool, Scarlet. Other than the fact that soon you and I will be playing some terrible
Don't even
things.
speak that terrible name.
What have? I'll mention that at the end. I'll bring that up.
We'll get to that.
What have you been playing? What's been on your playlist this week, Stadia or otherwise?
So we finished up Halo 5, which was dumb because it didn't have co-op, and that made me upset. So mostly was then my husband played through it, and I just watched because we just wanted to get it done. So now we are all up to speed on everything Halo. I feel accomplished. And then just more of I have Stormlight stacks on stacks and some Animal Crossing when I can do it. And Pokemon Cafe.
Welcome to the episode 2 of PokeSource, your number one source for...
We actually got a request from that. For that.
We did. Sad and crazy.
I am going to get back into Gods and Monsters, hopefully soonish. I'm going to start trying to make this part of my weekly schedule. Because I miss playing games with everybody.
There you go. Good stuff. Aaron, what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
It's been so much Outriders lately for the last few days. That game is weirdly addicting. Like, its story is basically non-existent. Its voice actors are fine, but man, that gameplay loop, I can't get over it. I love just teleporting around as a trickster and all the murder that you do, and it has that Doom feel where it wants you to be really aggressive for health. So I've been playing so much of that.
Very cool. You are thoroughly whelmed with everything other than the gameplay loop.
Yep. Yeah.
Why can't everybody just be whelmed?
Right. It's a perfect storm of like, it came out right at the right time where there's not a whole lot else going on, and it's just filling that void. And like, I don't know, it's just one of those games that I think hit exactly how it needed to, and it's been really addicting.
Very cool. And obviously, in celebration of you and Jake joining the crew, Raven Anime joined at the Crystal tier. That is the top of the top.
Whoa, thank you.
Thank you, Raven, for becoming a new member of the channel, and with the Pika after that. So that obviously in prep for PokeSource, Raven is clearly wants us to get into the PokeSource.
Kind of fund that early.
Exactly. Jake, what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
I wish I've had more time to play. I've been really busy with work, but I did set aside some time on Monday to stream some Killer Queen, Killer Queen Black, I should say. I adore that game so much. I talked about on my stream that it's probably one of my top 5 gaming experiences ever was playing it Killer Queen, the actual arcade game, live. I went down to MagFest. My friend was showing a game he was making. Shout out to Matty Allen S. on Twitter if you want to check out his stuff. Also being his booth babe at the event, and they had the full cabinet of 5. It's a 5v5 cabinet of 2 screens. It's a really, really cool experience, and like the whole energy around that game was so much fun. And I could not get this game on Stadia once. I had it on Steam already. I could not buy it on Stadia and start playing it right away. So I've been spending some time in that. I'll probably play more of that. I'm trying to get to the ranked now that I get kind of comfortable in the game, but. Yeah, mostly just that.
Got other fans, Stadia Dad Games, with the big future podcast guest. We'll talk about that at the end.
Awesome.
Stadia Games also saying KQV is awesome. Dom, I don't know if this is Kevin is saying Stubble is also good. So I don't know if Kevin is giving you a compliment.
No, he said I'm like I need to grow a beard, and I just basically said if I grow any kind of facial hair, it just looks like my first mustache kit. Like it's awful.
No.
It just doesn't. I just like. Too much information, but like I'm not a hairy person at all. So, like just any facial hair, and it's just no. It just
this corner of the screen has you covered.
Yeah.
You know like right here.
Literally.
back at school, you used to have that one 14-year-old kid who used to always grow a moustache and just looked awful. That would be me, and I'm 29. Like it just doesn't work.
The deepest voice and the smoothest skin.
But what have I been playing? I've been playing an absolute shed ton of Hunt Showdown, like ridiculous amount. There's an event going on at the moment, and I think I'm going to be streaming it on the channel in the next few days because I've got a bit of spare time now because I'm off my week off, and that's about it really. I haven't really played much else, just literally every night after work, a few hours of that. It's cool. Yeah.
No problem. Quick question from Eli. Whatever happened to Blue Bobs? He hasn't been on the podcast. Blue Bobs is coaching soccer, and they're in the playoffs, and they're about to be out of that. So Blue Bobs will make his return, I assure you. But speaking of somebody who... I was going to make a Bob's joke there, and that wouldn't have come out appropriate. Dan, what have you been playing this week? What's been on your playlist, Stadia, or otherwise?
I've been playing a game called PHP and JavaScript. And...
wait, PHP, what's that?
No, I've mostly been working on the new website, just trying to iron out any last-minute bugs. For all intents and purposes, it's kind of nearly done now. So, but other than that, I haven't actually played any Stadia or GeForce Now. I played some Sonic 3 last night on my mobile because I bought the GameSir controller, you know, the mobile handheld thing, and I was like, I've not actually really used it, to be fair. I mean, I played a bit of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on it, but I wanted to play Sonic 3, so I played a bit of that. But other than that, I haven't gamed. I fully intend to. I promised Chase, the gaming advocate, that I would try Outriders, because it was one of those games that I'd kind of said to myself, like, do I really have time for a game that requires a lot of grinding and a lot of effort, like Destiny or something like that? But he's adamant that I'll enjoy it, so I said I'd try it out and see how I feel about that. Fully intending to also continue to play Kazi and the Wild Masks on stream. I want to finish that on live stream as well for everybody. And also, I want to jump into Resident Evil, not Village, the other one. 7.
Biohazard.
Yeah, because I watched our old friend, Original Penguin. I watched his stream, and some of the jump scares and the way he reacted to them was like the best thing I've ever seen.
He's streaming again, I think, isn't he? But I think we need to do like a petition that he removes his pause key so he can no longer pause the game.
There's a pause key. That's good for me to know because I'm probably going to want it.
Dan, you know you got to check out. Ejimix has been streaming on Stadia Source GSN, and he's hilarious, man. He just screams and jumps at everything.
Yeah, I jump into everybody's stream, even if it's, you know what I mean, for 5 minutes if I can. I mean, obviously a lot of people are from, you know what I mean, the USA and Canada and places like that, so I can't always jump in if it's late at night for me, but I at least try and jump in for 5 minutes.
I've seen you jump in some of our stuff before, and we started at like 8:30 our time. So
yeah,
you must be up late. So
Dan doesn't sleep.
Stuff as well.
Doesn't sleep.
He is actually a Danpire. I don't know if anybody knows that. He's actually a Danpire. It's terrible.
Do not say
So,
that.
yeah, hopefully this time next week I'll have actually played some games for you. So
There you go. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be taking a look at some of Dan's handiwork today on today's show. As for me, you guys, I played a lot of Stadia this week. I played a considerable amount of Stadia this week. I know.
lucky.
What am I doing? I played Kaze. Super fun. I'm getting kind of hang of it, and it is like so Donkey Kong Country, like 100% Donkey Kong Country. But I just got. I only played maybe about an hour of it, but I'm really enjoying that so far. I played some Piku Niku because it was free. So it was a lot. It was different. If y'all haven't picked that up yet, it was different. It's a real different game, you guys. People are currently again actively editing my show notes doc for things I didn't change. And then what was the other? I played one more game. There's kind of this thing. I guess I could look at Stadia to actually find out. SpongeBob. I actually played the SpongeBob game, and it totally like brought me back to like Nintendo 64, platformy kind of things with better graphics. But like, it totally scratched that N64 itch for me. And I like SpongeBob. My wife can't stand SpongeBob. Hates it. Thinks it's the most obnoxious show. But I like it. I can't do the thing. So I liked it. So I'm having fun. So I'll probably play that a little bit more myself. Before we jump into the news roundup, yes.
I just remembered there was one more game that I played this week. Just a quick shout out to Disto and Riken. For some reason, we were chatting about games and saying we had a discussion about Mario Kart and how like Mario Kart is like the goat of like karting games. And then we found this game on Steam called Garfield Kart Furious Racing.
I'm familiar with this game.
And it was on sale, so we bought it for like a couple of quid. And we played less than 2 hours, so we can refund it. But it was probably the most frustrating yet hilarious karting game I've ever played in my life. Sorry, I just had to shout that out.
There you go. So go wishlist Garfield Kart on Steam right now. Well, before we, as we always do, jump in and get into talk of the week's news, we'll say hi to a few folks who are in the chat. Link TV, the man who is responsible for the horrors that Scarlett and I have to face this weekend, saying hi, keeping his ears peeled for some challenges. Link, I challenge you to donate $783, and then I'll play Mario Kart on stream. Don't do that. I try to keep it a very large number. We'll say Bat Pixie, Britton, one of our good friends, saying he's playing FIFA 21 this week. We've got Rock saying hi to Lee, who I think is actually probably Stadia Dad saying hi to Rock. And then there's just all these layers. Kevin from the news team saying welcome to GSN. Mr. Urban World says if we ever add PS Now, he'll be 100% down for GSN. Why are you not 100% down right now? Be down with GSN right now.
90%.
So hardcore on PSN.
Don't say down with GSN because that sounds wrong.
I actually want to try the PSN PlayStation Now right now. They're doing that a fresh trial, even if you have trialed before right now. So I want to give that a try.
It's like $1, right?
No, I think it's free trial right now for 7 days with the new games announced.
And then Felix from the stream team saying chew to the Pika from Raven as well. Lots of folks talking about your stubble. Lots of more people than are necessary talking about the stubble in the thing. And then Disto saying Garfield Kart all the way. So there you go. You got your Garfield Kart. And then Ray Sherrod, GFN founder and Stadia, Ray the Gaming Cyborg, loving them both. And we're going to talk about them both today right here on the GSN Round Table Podcast. Let's kick it off with the news roundup, as we always do on the Stadia side. You guys, earlier today, I was working on the show notes doc, and I was working on it at like 5 a.m. because I was awake for whatever reason. I had a weird dream about chainmail last night. I had weird dreams. So I'm awake, and I'm working on the show notes doc.
I have follow-up questions.
Well,
So do I.
And
From
so
the medieval time days. I know.
And so I'm like, I don't know what we're going to cover today because it's been a slow news week. There's only been like 5 articles on StadiaSource.com, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. Still there, you guys. And
number
so I'm like,
one
well, what are
source
we
for
gonna...
all Stadia, Avery.
Did we change that too? I don't
Yes.
remember. I don't remember. I got the branding wrong. No, Scarlett. No, I see you. It's fine.
He put you in charge.
So
Okay.
and then Scarlett's like, oh, I'll totally take charge. Let's do something. So then all of a sudden, Stadia decided today that they were going to tell us about 10 games out of nowhere, some of which we already knew about, but for the most part, a lot of games that are new to us in the Stadia blog, or Stadia community blog, Osphere. And these are all coming from the Stadia Makers program. So those of you who are not familiar with Stadia Makers, it is a program through Unity and Stadia to, if you are developing a Unity game, then you can bring that to Stadia same day as any other platform. Stadia gives you a dev kit, they give you some cash, give you a little promo, and there you go. So let's take a look at each of them, as we said here in the thing. Now this one, Darkside Detective, A Fumble in the Dark, we knew about. Let me mute that before it smashes into my ears. We've known about this one. This was one of the first ones that they announced way back in the back. We actually talked about this a little bit last week. And this one has a little bit of controversy surrounding it, which we're actually going to talk about next. But this one comes out next week from today, I believe, if I'm doing my math right on that.
He's got a yo-yo.
He's got a yo-yo, and apparently his coffee mug is dripping over the other side. It looks like he spilled it all the way down himself.
Gross.
Dick Brickman, and so very much a a Sierra Online point and click.
As he
Monkey
points,
Island,
it also clicks.
as he points and clicks. Anybody looking forward to this game? I think I might ask for a code for it, but I might try to pick this one up.
Is this season 2, as they say?
Yeah.
So
The first one came
they
out
had
today. Which
the
we were
original,
going to
the
come
first one
on to
today.
later.
Yep, which we'll talk about. And then this is season 2 coming to Stadia next week. A Fumble in the Dark. It looks fun. I want to play it. Photorealistic pixel rendering, depending on your definition of photorealism. So funny. Anybody have thoughts on that one, or we'll just keep going? Sounds like we're just going to keep going.
Kind of come back to that when we talk about.
Yeah,
that's true. We finally have a release date now for 100 Days, which is a winemaking simulator. And again, I've muted you. Winemaking could be your best adventure. So it's like a little sim game, but you're literally like planting vineyards, which looks super
So
chill.
it's just a more niche farming game.
Yes. Make the best wine. It's farming simulator, but way pared down. Way pared down. But it looks cute. It kind of has this isometric, almost like a board game look to it, which I always find super cute in video games. Anybody looking forward to this game?
When it goes pro, yeah.
I'll try it.
It makes me want to try Viticulture, the board game.
Yeah, this makes me want to try the new homebrewing game as well. There's a lot of Sims to make alcohol now, and I will try them.
Your beautiful journey starts now with apparently 2 naked people on a hill. So overlooking your wine as you let your grapes hang out. So that's 100 Days Winemaking Simulator. That one we also have a release date for, May 13th. It's from Broken Arms Games, which makes me wonder if these people are Redditors. And those of you who use Reddit frequently will know what that reference is. I absolutely will not describe it here. But arm emoji in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Foreclosed, another new game from Antab Studios and Merge Games. This one's mature. We got some strong language violence. And again, sound in my ears. But this one has kind of a graphic novel-ish look to it. And seems to be kind of an adventure-ish kind of game.
It's like 2.5D basically. It has 3D elements, but it's not really 3D-ified.
So it's
okay.
What if you made Cyberpunk, but you made it as a comic book?
Yeah, it looks cool.
Well, like it's from the I don't know if there's a cutscene. I saw like shooting and stuff. It just seemed like
It's like ISO.
You weren't aiming and stuff. It was kind of doing it for you. I don't know.
You apparently do have you can use telekinesis to drive bullets toward the target.
It's
it's
just
definitely got a shooter thing to it.
It's
a very interesting art style.
Really cool art style. I like the the comic book style, like you're saying, almost.
Yeah.
So,
it reminds me. There was an old game like XV3 or something. It was like a really old like PlayStation 2 shooter. It has that kind of.
I'm trying to understand the title because foreclosure to me means something totally different.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, my parents flipped houses and we worked on flipping houses. And so foreclosure means something totally different to me than whatever they're trying to go with here.
All right, Dom, use your gorgeous narrator voice to give us this line right here, and maybe that will tell us.
Pressure. Follow the story of Ivan Kampnos in this sleek comic book style game as he unravels the conspiracy behind his identity foreclosure. Who is responsible and why?
Identity foreclosure.
They can evict you from your own identity.
Yeah.
It's all about cancel culture. That's what's.
So it's like
that's actually kind of a neat concept, though. Like being kicked away from like who you are. That's interesting.
It's like Repo Men for your conscience.
There you go. And it is in the style of a graphic novel. So yeah, it seems kind of fun. We'll find out. A symbiotic pistol.
That's a new concept, though.
Pistol is part of you. And then brain implant abilities with an RPG-inspired skill system. Interesting. Akapura Games and Cloverbyte bringing us content that may be inappropriate for children in the form of grime.
This game is cool. I watched this one already.
Yeah, I unfortunately have not watched any of these trailers, so we're having a live reaction from me. This is interesting. So you got a little black hole.
Black hole head.
Great for our podcast listeners.
I know. This visual medium, those of you who will be listening to this later, I'll have Matt cut all this out. We can make let's just cut that out jokes now, because we actually have an audio engineer, by the way. Everybody big up.
Yeah, and he's fantastic.
He is so good. So all of our podcasts, including Speaking of Stadia, which if you haven't joined us recently, part of the GSN family now, are there. So it's a side scroller, kind of zappy, dead
like action platformer.
Action platformer. He seems to just be picking up things from the ground and beating people with them while he is teleporting around, or she, or it. And he has they have a black hole for a head.
Yeah, it just looks really cool art style. I just really like this art style and the movements. The animation's really cool.
The character is literally sucking in rocks to his black hole head and then throwing them back at the enemy.
I swear I watched these trailers on my own and I don't really think that much of them. And then when we watch them live on the podcast, I actually think this looks pretty good.
This one was one that stood out to me the most.
Yeah, this one looks really interesting.
There you go.
Did any of you ever play like Limbo or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like kind of creepy and stuff, but it was like all black and white and shadows and stuff. Like, kind of made me think of that.
Limbo is kind of more like Little Nightmares.
Yeah, in terms of gameplay, I think she's talking about more like the aesthetic.
Yeah, the feelings behind it.
Yeah, Akupara Games has done other stuff on Stadia, haven't they? Akupara Games. Everybody is now furiously.
You guys are going to beat me too.
They are behind Desert Child, Gone Viral. I know I've heard of them. Yeah. Oh, they're behind Darkside Detective.
Oh, okay. Desert Child I played before too. Actually,
Gone Viral looks super fun, and I keep like tweeting them every so often. They're behind Wavebreak. They're involved in that one as well. So yeah, they're a big, clearly a big supporter of Unity, and clearly a big supporter. I feel real bad for Scarlett right now because she's just smelling bacon in her house. And
we're making elevated, and I put that in air quotes for those listening. Elevated grilled cheese.
Like,
so we're basically just doing like legit Munster and bacon and all sorts of amazingness. And my husband's cooking right now, and I'm like starving.
Nice. I have 5 chicken strips that just got delivered there, waiting for me after the podcast.
Oh no!
Very cold.
So it's my wife and I's anniversary our second wedding anniversary next week, and Welcome to pandemic, right? So we're like,
Yeah.
what do we do? We just took a trip. We just got back. So she said, why don't we do a macaroni and cheese bar? I'm like, a what?
Yeah.
She's like,
That sounds like a
yeah,
great
we'll
time.
just cook like
come over?
bacon and chicken and all this stuff, and we'll do.
And
I'm
like breadcrumbs to put on top.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
the
do breadcrumbs.
breadcrumbs. Fancy mac and cheese. So
Yes.
that is happening next week.
Excellent stuff.
Nice.
Figment 2, Creed Valley. So we have Figment 1. It was released on Pro, if I'm not horribly mistaken.
Yes.
Yep.
And it is kind of a little adventure-ish kind of thing set inside the brain. And Figment 2,
What the
Creed
gross?
Valley was one of the original Stadia Makers games that they announced. So we've known about this one for a while. But the whole conceit of this one is you are basically controlling some moods in the brain. So things are either going to be happy or sad. Or it's like mood versus reason. Or it's emotion versus reason.
It looks exactly the same. If I turned my
Yes.
head and looked, I would have thought it was the same game.
It looks a little bit pretty. I think they cleaned it up a bit, but yeah, it's the same aesthetic. Same look.
It was awesome though.
I want to go back and play that game more. That game was actually pretty unique in terms of like the story behind it all. So.
Yeah, when we got that one Stadia Pro, I forgot what month that was, but that was my favorite game out of all the games.
Yeah, there's a few good games that month, but yeah, I like that probably the most of the ones we played. Yeah, that was a few months ago, like 2 or 3 months ago.
And if you ever want to find out more details about any of the games in this article, look at this thing over on the side of the website. Again, stuff Dan added to the website that he didn't tell anyone
That was
about.
there last week.
Was it? Well, I'm
Yes.
singing the song again. So if you want to learn about any of these games. Merrick's Market. So Merrick's Market followed me on Twitter and interacts with me on occasion, and followed Stadia Source on Twitter and followed GSN on Twitter as well. They are clearly very excited to be coming to Stadia. And so this
I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh my gosh, it's a medieval shop.
Yeah.
This
That's
seems
why I
like
was thinking of chainmail.
this seems like
Full
Overcooked,
circle.
but you're running a store
That was exactly what I thought. It gave me Overcooked
Okay.
vibes
because it's
instantly.
multiplayer as well. Like it's co-op multiplayer. I think you have customers come in and stuff, and then you have to make and haggle with them, and it just looks funny. I'm actually really looking forward to it.
I'm all for the
It
black.
does have the
Yeah, that's
Overcooked
cool.
vibe. Yeah.
potions.
When I first thought this was more like there's some like Shop Kingdom or Shop Hero that's on like iPad and things, and I was thinking that was what this was.
Shop
but then-
Titans.
Yes.
Yeah, I've played
Maybe.
hundreds of hours into that as well.
Yeah.
I just like shop games. I don't know why.
I do. I love shop games as well. Apparently, this wants me to click on a maple syrup gaming thing, and I'm not going to do it. So yeah, Merrick's Market or Merrick. But I'm totally down for anything medieval. This is right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah,
Sonic 3 Remastered. Damn, there it is.
So,
Yeah, I probably listened to it on the Stadia Source account. That's why that's being suggested. I just put random Sonic music on when I'm coding, just to kind of like, so I don't focus on the lyrics, but there's still music. So
You do the same thing. Yeah, Link is definitely agreeing. It looks exactly like Overcooked, but with a blacksmith shop.
Yes.
Right there with you.
Perfect.
And Tyler says we're awesome. Tyler, you're awesome. That's all I have to say about that. We got a couple of games that don't appear to have trailers, unless Dan just couldn't find them.
No, they-
no, this one didn't have one. I don't think.
Got it. She Dreams Elsewhere. From Studio Xavier and Whitethorn Games, a surreal adventure RPG about dreams and the extent to which they mirror reality. You play as Thalia, an anxiety-ridden, comatose woman on a journey to confront the nightmares preventing her from awakening. So that sounds kind of fun.
I have a trailer if you want it.
Oh, did you find a trailer? Look at you. Drop that in the chat, and I will pull that over here.
Interesting
Or I can
theme that a lot of these little indie games are like, explore your brain and think about your dreams and your moods and get your self-consciousness
I wonder if it
stolen,
covers anything about train mail dreams too.
right?
It could be. Oh, okay. So this has got like a 16-bit or an 8-bit
like
RPG
Game
feel
Boy.
to it.
Yeah, this is straight up Game Boy. That's awesome.
Nice.
But instead of yellow, is blue. I like that.
I wonder why they weren't trailers for these two games, because I found trailers for the one that doesn't have one as well.
Maybe because they didn't have one that had the Stadia like splash on it, so
Yeah.
they didn't want to put it on there.
Official indie selection of the GDC Showcase 2019, back when that could be a thing. Yeah, I'm getting like Final Fantasy Adventure vibes.
I'm
off of
vibing with this really hard. This is really cool.
Like, this is look at yes.
Oh my
This is
gosh, it even
100%
swirls like a Pokemon game.
This is
Yes,
100%
let's go.
Game Boy RPG.
my
I
gosh.
am down. Giant teddy bears.
Oh my goodness.
This is my Pokemon Crystal life all over again.
This. Oh, is it like a roller coaster? What? Okay, yeah. This is a day one for me now. At this point.
Yeah.
Golden Sun, that's the other one.
Fox Boy, let's go.
It's also got a little
And-
like Earthbound to it.
Is that like a Super Meat Boy creeper from Minecraft or something?
Oh, I'm now the battles. I'm getting Earthbound vibes. But you're fighting with like real people, and yeah, I dig this. Okay, check out the trailer. Dan knows where to find it down. We can embed that on StadiaSource.com. Excuse me, your number one source for Ottawa. I have to change the mumble because it's awful. So yeah, She Dreams Elsewhere, a surreal adventure RPG. Coming 2019, free demo available now. So I don't know that it actually did come on 2019. Let's find out. Is it actually released on Steam? No, just demo, and it's been 2021. Okay, so hey, cool. We'll get it, and awesome on that.
Fun.
There you go. Fun, very fun. That is opening in the wrong window. We will pause that for just a second as we continue scrolling down the list. Don't look at that tab that I just suddenly appeared.
I'd already clocked it anyway.
Totally. See ya. Yeah. Death Carnival,
Woohoo!
our good friends at Furion Games, Herbert and the team, Ice B and the team, still hyping the train for Death Carnival. I will tell you guys, obviously we can't tell you anything we know, but we might have like some Discord conversations going with them every so often, and he kind of tells us some cool stuff that he's thinking about the game, and we're like, yes, do that. Do all of those things you just said.
Well, and their art is like 100% on my alley. Every time they share art of like their weapons or their characters or any of their little lore, I'm like, tell me more. It's so good.
This is a day one for me. Day one.
Yeah.
And they, because of the conversations, I'm desperately hoping I'm not speaking out of turn, and I don't think I am. Some of the conversations that we've had with them are, what can we do for streamers? How can we make this interesting for channels that go live? How can we make this interesting for a channel like yours that has all these different streamers and you do kind of run away? And they are totally down for like, yes, let's add this in. Let's talk about this. Here's what we could do if it's an esports thing. Here's what we could do if it's a live stream. Here's what we could do for crowd play or crowd choice or whatever else if they end up adding those in. So yeah, Death Carnival, super excited.
Important to know it's full cross-platform, cross-play as well.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. That's really cool. Because that game really, I like that a lot. I love the old Housemarque, like Dead Nation and that style of game. So that's
Super Smash
up
TV.
my alley. Yeah.
And speaking to Herbert, he just oozes his like excitement and enthusiasm for this game. Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
So here's hoping that Stadia lets them into the the crowd plays and the crowd choices and all those kind of things, because I think they have the desire to do really cool things with that.
Wasn't it? I think they were due to release sort of like at the beginning of the year. I think they've delayed it because they had some more ideas that they wanted to put in. Because I think when we spoke to them, it was like December, November time, right?
Yeah, they were last
when,
on.
like when we like first spoke to them, and they were like, "Yeah, we're just doing like Q&A and stuff." But then they said now they want to add more stuff, and so that's why they're taking a bit longer.
More stuff.
But it's worth it.
Yeah,
Definitely. A good game. Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch. Coming.
Kids.
Yes. It was in the summer of gaming 2020 is when this was for. So we've got that kind of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out of time kind of look to it, maybe.
It's Scott Pilgrim.
this is like Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah.
A little bit. So this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up brawler with terrible, inappropriate jokes throughout. Those of you who are watching the video version, see how many bad jokes and bad things you can catch.
There's so many already.
So yeah, it looks fun, but it's definitely that kind of Final Fight, Scott Pilgrim, side-scrolling.
Oh yeah, that's my alley right there.
chronicbloodpunch.com if you want to learn more about Jay and Sealant Bob. I did it again. Order tabs. In Terabang Entertainment, the mixed games coming soon. Colorful sky-scrolling tag team, and then there's Sky Climbers. So there's no. Of course we're gonna talk about Sky Climbers. Our good friends who were on the show just 3-4 weeks ago, Paratope, talking about Sky Climbers, and we got another Stadia announcement trailer. So they were very clear in saying it was the Stadia community's hype that got this game onto Stadia and got Stadia's attention and got them in there. And the gameplay trailer looks super awesome. Scarlett, I know you have been mega hyped for this game.
Yeah.
It's just like, don't bother me. I'm watching a Sky Climbers trailer.
Well, I've been a bit out of the loop just because I've been out of the loop of like everything lately. But everything they share is just like 100% like, I want it and I want more of it. And the guys seem like completely committed to making every single thing that they've promised happen. Like not everything at the exact same time because things take a process, but within like the next couple of years, everything that has been promised in the Kickstarter is like gonna happen. And the Kickstarter was phenomenal. Like they raised way more money than they were ever expecting. And then they've been top notch on social media, interacting with their followers. Just it looks cool, and I hope it's as cool as it looks.
Have you seen this trailer yet, Scarlett?
I've seen most of them. Yeah, I've seen this one.
Any appearance of a specific animal?
No, I don't think Arax is in here.
Oh,
The Phoenix of Scarlet's design,
yeah,
or mostly.
Yeah. The Scarlet Phoenix. But no, I don't think Arax is in this one
I
because
bet you scanned every frame, didn't you? Looking.
no, I don't do that.
But we have Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, it's Mecha Godzilla.
So definitely excited, of course, and we're all just staying tuned for when that one drops. So lots and lots of games. Obviously, you can see the full list at StadiaSource.com, your number one source for all things Stadia, and check out the trailers that are there and the new ones that Dan will be furiously adding as he now has links to do so. Obviously, we've been spending a lot of time on that one. So let's talk about some other headlines that we have. One of which is the Darkside Detective. Go, no go, go, no pro, no go, no pro, no pro. So on the first Stadia Makers blog post, they said Darkside Detective Season 1 would be launching on Pro. They've since come out this week and said, sorry, not going to actually be launching on Pro. So anybody disappointed there? We're super excited to be able to play that this week, and just it didn't happen.
The reason I asked earlier about if that's Season 2, because their original wording said that Darkside Detectives Season 1 would be Pro before Season 2 launched. So that's why, I don't know whether, but that's why if it is Season 2 launching next week, that's kind of crappy that they've basically been like, hey, it's Pro, actually, and then like a few months later, it's not. And the discount that they've put on Darkside Detective, I think, is 10%, which is like £1. I don't know. It's a bit of a foul taste, but like we don't know what happens behind the scenes with contracts and stuff. And these things will happen. It just sucks that the communication hasn't been that great. Because like even I think the devs basically said it was going to be Pro. So
yeah, a dev confirmed with our good buddy Original Penguin Adam on Discord who shared it with us, and the dev said, "Oh yeah, totally launching on Pro." And then the dev had to change that statement. Because it is actually Google that controls when a game goes on Pro, not the developer. Just in case anybody was not aware of that, that is a piece of information that we happen to know. So yeah, it is currently £11.69, down from $12.99.
Ooh.
As opposed to being free. Now I will say, it's $11.69. It's gonna go Pro.
Nice.
Like it's gonna. It might not have been this month, but it'll probably be next month or the month after. Sorry, Darks Akaperna Games. I'm sure you worked very hard on this, but we all know it's going to go pro. So, anybody else? Got any other thoughts on Darkside?
No, I was just going to say that exact same thing. We'll see this thing pro in May or June, but I don't think it's going to take long for this to be a pro game.
No, give it time.
It just it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't understand why. Other than because we know. I don't know what we can say about that. About how
we know what we know, but we can't say what we know.
Yeah,
so,
I know exactly what you're thinking, but yeah.
So, but in any case, other couple of announcements. We got a formal confirmation of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It was in Tuesday's post, and then we also got confirmation of this breakdancing game called Floor Kids, which is like a hand-drawn, almost stick figure-esque art style. It's like, Cyanide and Happiness is what it reminds me of, that comic. And
as long as it's not like Just Dance, because otherwise I'm going to suck at this game.
What if
Dan will be going live.
What if it plays like Parappa the Rapper?
Yeah.
So this game's been
Never
out.
mind.
This game's been out for 4 years or 3 years.
Oh,
So it came out in 2017.
killed it. Killing it right there.
Can we have like a subscriber stretch goal that if we hit, Dan has to stream himself playing Just Dance?
All right, Link, make it happen. No.
1 million.
$1 million dance dollars. So yeah, I mean, it looks super cute. Created and animated by John. I don't know who John is, but good for. Apparently, Alex is saying the music is by a famous DJ. I turned the music off, so I don't really know. DJ, world-renowned scratch DJ producer, Kid Koala. Any Kid Koala fans?
I like
Noted.
koalas, like
Yeah.
the animal. Big
I held
fan.
one when I was
And I
about
have a
5.
kid.
And I like my kid. So,
That's not the
I should
same.
hope so.
does that count on any front?
No. And then, of course, we got an official drop trailer for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. We watched this last week, so it's out there if you want to check it out. It looks cool. It's a Metroidvania, but in a kind of a art style.
So I read up about this game. Apparently, it has some really
Castlevania.
bad performance issues on some of the platforms it's already launched on.
Oh yeah, Switch was terrible. Switch it was like unplayable sometimes at certain parts of the game. It was.
But even on PlayStation, I heard that there was some issues.
I heard it was
They
better
were
on
using-
PlayStation, but
Random people's tweets to promote this.
Well,
That doesn't.
In their like own tweets saying like, "Oh, we're coming to Stadia." It was just full of people going, "Can you fix the game on other platforms, please?" Like, I'll give it a go, and I'm hoping that it works well on Stadia. But
I hope so, because I love Castlevania, man. So
I
I
just
mean,
can't get into
IGN gave it an 8 out of 8, or 8 out of 10. But they
Well,
have
yeah,
all
but-
these foreign language, and then all these like, what is the? It's Reddit comments. That's not,
Metacritic user scores.
none of that
All 10.
gives a lot of like. Oh,
To be fair, I probably trust their reviews more than like. You know what I
True.
mean,
yeah, right.
we've seen what game journalists can be like. So
it could be their own like alt accounts. Oh, I love this game. 10 out of 10.
Talk from it. They don't mention anything on the. They don't mention anything on there about changes to the stuff. So beautiful 2.5D graphics, 3D models crafted with a lot of love and care within a 2D game environment. That's a lot of love and care, you guys. It's a lot. Love and care. Play some free stuff, you guys. Borderlands 3 free play days here launched. If you want to play some Borderlands 3 this weekend, you totally can and play it for free if you're on Stadia Pro.
new DLC.
And the Director's Cut DLC. I think it was the
new
Director's
sales.
Cut. Or is it-
I'm
and
going
sales.
to be negative, Norris. Robin, who was part of our team for a short time, tweeted also that he found there was a recent patch and there seems to be some performance issues with Borderlands now as well after the latest patch. So,
Well, then, but
I'm just
but
being the bearer of bad news. But yeah,
be prepared.
I'm going to check it out because I haven't actually got it. And I was really bummed that I didn't pick up when it was like the Ultimate Edition for like £4.
I'm still killing myself. It was like $10. Yeah,
Yeah, like
I'm
it's
still
crazy.
killing myself for that.
Oh man, I can't do that either.
I feel like I've said this
That
about
PGA.
5 times, but I've bought this game 3 times. Once on Xbox, once on Stadia, and then once again when that Ultimate Edition came out, and I still have barely played it. I played the heck out of it on Xbox, but
Come on, we buy games to look at them in our libraries and just think about playing them, but never actually doing it.
Never find
That's
them.
how the world works.
I literally
that's how-
buy games to feel guilty. So I can be like, still haven't played that. And then every once in a while, I pick up a game like this for $10 and I feel less guilty when I don't play it.
Yeah.
It's the $60 games that you're like, I really should. Why haven't I?
I'm still bitter that I've barely played Cyberpunk, to be fair. But I got a free Stadia Premier Edition out of it, so it's not too bad, I guess.
Cost benefit analysis on that was a little bit higher.
So yeah, it is currently out there. The director's cut expansion, £11.99 if you want it, and they have brought the whole thing on sale again. So Borderlands 3, the main version, is about 60% off, something like that. Super Deluxe, £64 down to $29. Ultimate, £79 down to $39. So half off. So maybe you didn't get it on the great sale, but you could still get it on a sale. Click that link
Miss
right
your
there.
chance, Jake.
To never play it as well. I'm going to try it this weekend though.
It's fun. I played it. I enjoyed it. I just didn't, kind of go from there. We have got a bunch of other headlines. I'm going to read through them. We are not even barely going to talk about them. You can check them out on the sites. Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood, and there's a new trailer for that, is out at the moment. And I also want to mention, and I am actually going to share screen on this one, you can head over to GFNsource.com, your number one source for all things GFN. And see the latest news and announcements about GeForce Now.
That website looks familiar.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks
almost as
beautiful, doesn't it?
Plagiarized.
It really does. If we click on the right thing here. So you can head to the Plum and Sunset, or you can head to the Scarlet. What's the name of those colors?
Lime and Forest.
Yeah.
Lime and Forest. Boom, right there, and get your game on. So check out the latest headlines there, including the big announcements from today, which is primarily that the Stronghold series has come to GeForce Now. So if you want to check out Stronghold Warlords and a bunch of the other historical games, Stronghold Crusader, Stronghold 2 Steam Edition, Stronghold HD, and there are even links for you to pick these games up at discounts where they are elsewise discounted. I don't remember. Was that a thing they gave us, or Dan, did you go find those discounts?
No, I think they
just
give
that
us
Okay, there you go. So day and date arrival of Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, which you can play on either platform if you so choose, and then a bunch of other games that were added in to playable on GeForce Now today. Go check that out at GFNsource.com, GFNsource.com, to check out all the week's news.
Answer Eli's question there. Avery hasn't even signed up to the website yet.
No, I don't log in. What are we doing? You are already ahead of me. Boom. On that. One other thing to mention, if you have not already, we are giving away 2 free months to GeForce Now, GeForce Now Source. We don't charge anything for that, but we're giving away 2 free months, courtesy of our good friends at NVIDIA and GeForce Now. If you would like your chance to win, all you have to do is jump into the giveaway page, which we have gloriously posted in the chat right now, and you can have your chance to win one of 10 of those. And additionally, one winner will win their very own. And I will shrink this back to normal things so you can actually see.
There we go.
One winner will win their very own GSN bottle or GSN mug. Gorgeous.
Bowl.
And the other lucky winner will get one of each.
So one person will win these, and on the other side it has this, and then one person will win this one.
Bottles.
Yeah.
We're popping bottles, and you can be one to get them yourself. You have got 6 days left. That is running till next Wednesday, and we'll let the winners know on Thursday. And on the show,
yeah, 10 people will be winning, and 2 people will
10.
get the extra prizes.
10 winners. So make sure you see those, folks, friends, and folks. There'll be no shocking memories, just a feeling of nostalgia, and of course, the hot topic.
What?
Oh,
I don't know. It was pleasant.
Dom went in for the face palm and then just ditched his own face palm as he was going. So it was like a high five, and then you missed.
It's like a
Like all ready to go. If you know what movie that is from, mention it in the chat, and I'll tweet you something. I don't know. I thought for the hot topic tonight, there's been a couple of cool things that have kind of happened recently out there in the gaming world. Obviously, with Stadia, we know that sometimes we get those 4-year-old games, or we get games from the library like Celeste, or things that are really kind of cool. And then also, Xbox Game Pass about a week and a half ago announced a big old drop of Xbox and Xbox 360 games onto Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, so that you can relive the heyday of playing those games from the 2000s. And so, Scarlett, I know you've never seen that movie. I know you haven't, because that is a foul, filthy movie.
I am an expert Google searcher.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I went a tangent here, but in college, like I literally like helped out so many of my classmates who would go to tech support to try to fix something in like our coding classes. And then they come into our group meetings like, nobody can figure it out, and like tech support can't figure it out, and blah blah blah. And so like I Google it and I find the answer somewhere, and I'm like, here's what you do. And they're like, what the heck? And I'm like, I don't know. I just know how to use Google really well. So yeah.
You don't have to know how to fix it. You have to know how to Google it. Just like
you just have to know where to find the resources.
Yeah. You don't have to run faster than the monster. You have to run faster than your friend. That's
exactly.
The
yeah.
And Eli in the chat commenting on my very large water bottle.
It's like what, 1 liter?
That's why.
It is 75 ounces of water bottle goodness from Bottled Joy.
Oh, brother, look at you two.
We are big water bottle. We like big bottles, and you cannot lie. You other bottles can't do
Oh, God.
that. With an itty bitty bottle and a round thing, and you get sprung. Okay, anyways, I know the whole song. It's fine. So the topic that I wanted to have as our hot topic tonight, because yes, we still have a hot topic, you guys. It's the same show. Is gaming cloud platforms as a new opportunity to access the classics. One of the things that a lot of folks lament out there is that, you know, if your Xbox died and maybe you don't feel like pirating things, you just are never going to get to play those games again. They go away, you know. But then here came Nintendo with the Virtual Console. And they brought out, you know, all the NES games you missed, and all the SNES games, and the N64, and all those kind of things. And suddenly, we could actually play those games again. Now, of course, they're doing something completely different with the Nintendo Switch Online, and it's meh at best. But the cloud has kind of been given this opportunity to be a place where your Xboxes and your Sonys and your and your whoever's and developers of all shapes and sizes, including like on GeForce Now, can take those classic games and give them new life through the cloud. So you can play them from any device, play them anywhere. There were games like Strongholds. I had the CD-ROMs for those when you had to install it in your, you know, and that's a, you know, now you buy it on Steam, this 20-year-old game, and you can play it on your phone from the bathroom. Like, that's a crazy that's an option now. So I wanted to kind of broach to the team, or to the crew. We're all on the team here. Just kind of your thoughts on where do you see the role of cloud platforms in filling that gap of the missing classics library, and what are some of the classics that you'd like to see GeForce Now and Stadia and the other cloud platforms kind of resurrect? So as we always do, we'll start with our guests. Jake, I started with you earlier. We're gonna start with Aaron. So Aaron, give us your thoughts on the hot topic and the role that you could see these things having.
I think the response to Xbox dropping a bunch of 360 games shows that there's a want for that. A lot of people were very excited, myself included. Like Fable 2 wasn't a game I had thought about in a long time, and I have great memories with that game. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to jump back into that. And then that feeling went away in 10 minutes.
When you remembered that it's still Fable 2 and it's still Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, there's that game I liked back then. It's like watching your favorite dumb comedy from like the early 2000s. Like you see the box art and you get all warm and fuzzy on the inside, and you put that disc in and 2 fart jokes and a pretty racy joke goes by, and you're like, nope, this didn't hold up at all. I sure did laugh at this when I was 18, but
a little more racist than I remember.
Exactly. Oops. You're like, wow, that's really misogynistic. I'm going to shut this off now. So I like to go back and try old games, but I don't think I've ever stuck with it more than 15, 20 minutes. And then I'm like, yep, you scratch the itch. Okay, bye. So I'm all for like a really good remaster. Like I like that kind of stuff. You rebuild it, you give me this kind of really good experience. Can't wait for Mass Effect Legendary Edition. But in terms of just like, here's this game that's probably going to feel really, really dated, but now you can just play it on the cloud. Unless it's free, it's not for me. I just came up with that slogan on the spot.
Woo!
If it's not for free, it's not for me. So you put some of these nostalgic games on Pro, you better believe I'm going to claim it and play it. But I just can't see myself like necessarily repurchasing these games, only because the ones who have done it before, I just don't stick with it. I just don't. So
speaking of classic sitcoms, Jim from The Office, what are your thoughts on this topic?
No, I probably similar to Aaron overall. Like I do, there's occasionally I'll go back, but I usually doesn't stick very long. Like I bought and downloaded Dark Cloud 2 with the intention of going back and playing that, and it's still just sitting there staring at me, none played. Games like I'm a big fan of the Resistance series from PlayStation 3. Those are the games I've never gotten, or one of the few series from PlayStation that hasn't gotten the HD ports for those games. And like, I would love to go back and play those on and upgraded, but I have my PlayStation 3 still. I can go back and play those games, but I don't. So it's like, it's definitely for a certain person. Like my one friend, he streams classic games. That's all he does. He does like a lot of speed runs of GoldenEye 007 and Super Mario World and much other stuff back. I think Armor Core, one of the old, is that Armor Core, one of the old games. Yeah. So it's like for those people, yes, it's definitely there. There definitely is a need and want for it, but it's not the critical mass that I think. It's a feel good article, like headline for them, like they're talking about classic games, but I'm all for game preservation as well, as opposed to it's like just for that aspect in general. I like seeing those things, but it just. I mean, I have a Dreamcast I need to fix that I want to start going back and playing. The motherboard battery actually died on it, so I need to replace that. But it's fun to like jump in and play with some friends every like once a year to go do that. But like other than that, I don't spend much time in it. But I hope that cloud platforms some like Xbox and certain ones will start to support a little bit better. Virtual consoles, good start there, but.
I think a perfect example of this was I was able to get my hands on one of the mini NESs. I like lucked out and I was really excited. I loved Mario 3. And like, I was like, all right, kid, now you get to see what games your dad played, because I just say old timey stuff now. And we plugged it in and we got the controllers and we sat down and we played it for a Friday night and ordered pizza. And it was really, really fun. And I'm not sure it's been turned on since.
Yeah, I can totally understand that emotion. I have a very large library of emulators and ROMs, totally illegally acquired because I own all the cartridges. Don't sue me. But once a year I'll get an itch to scratch it and I'll go scratch it. Now, Anthony, so you and I are kind of the old dudes on the podcast, right. And mostly you, but we've been playing games for decades since some of the people on this panel were like in diapers. And sometimes you got to go scratch that itch, right? Sometimes you got to go back, boot up the old system, or download the ROM and play that game, right?
Right. So I've been dying to jump in here. So
You've been remarkably quiet all podcast long.
I was going to mention that.
I just realized how peaceful it's. I mean, how quiet you've been.
So I've been very, very, very verbal because my good buddy Stadia Vet has started playing PlayStation Now, and Mr. Urban World, he said earlier, right? And you guys killed it, man. So Stadia had Panzer Dragoon. If you guys go back, I was like, oh my god! And it came to Pro, and I played it. I was like, I can't wait. That was one of my favorite games, and that didn't last long at all. And the thing is, our minds tell us that this is gonna be amazing, but you guys are 100% right. And think about it. I was a diehard PlayStation guy, right? Now, when PlayStation 4 came out, their answer to not being able to do backwards compatibility was PlayStation Now. Now, besides the fact that it ran terrible, but still, these games were so old. Like the other day, somebody was playing Royal Donut. Give him a shout out. He was playing God of War 1, and Vet was like, "You can't play that." I was like, "I beat that game 1,000 times. How long ago?" Like, yes, it's exciting, but I'm guaranteed, like they just said, if you go back, perfect example, guys. Have you ever heard of a game called Guardian Heroes? Man, Guardian Heroes for the Sega Saturn. Yeah. Man, I bought it last summer. I bought it on my Xbox, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's on Xbox! Why they never brought it to PlayStation?" Because I'm more of a PlayStation guy than an Xbox guy. So I was like, "I'm gonna pay my $4 or whatever it is," and it didn't last long at all. And I remember that being like in the top of my top games. Perfect example. I went to a retro party a couple years ago. Thank you. Guardian Heroes was awesome. It had like 6 different endings.
Like multiplayer seconds, and now we're up next. Guardian Heroes, and then it had an official. They did an HD for Xbox Live. They did an HD remix.
Yep, and
that's just pretty fun.
And it was cool for about an hour. And I remember I went to a retro party, and here's what's gonna hurt, man. And you guys said it earlier. There was a Nintendo 64, and I was like, GoldenEye has got to be one of the most, like, the longest played, most epic games of my life. And I picked up the controller, and first I was like, what the hell?
That game does not hold up. That game does not hold up.
And, dude, my nostalgic memories went out the window. I was like, I can't even. Who made this travesty? I'm telling you, man. You guys are right. Everybody goes crazy. Oh, but you can play the old games. Trust me, man. PlayStation Now, sorry guys, it got 800 games on there, but no.
Scarlett, weigh in on this. You like a bunch of different games, and I will say the further back you go, the more family oriented the games tend to be, the less profane, the less. So there's a lot of great like NES, SNES classics out there, and I know you're a Switch person, so you probably played some on if you have NSO. Give us your thoughts on this.
Yes, as our kids get older and become more aware, I think we've also grown up and become more aware. And things like we'll go back and like I go back sometimes and I read books that I read as a teenager, and I'm like, why did I ever read these things? These are terrible. Like, no wonder I was so disturbed. And we'll go back and watch shows from like the 1980s and the 1970s because they're still fun. So like I rewatch Star Trek: The Next Generation like 3 or 4 times a year. Mostly because I need background noise, but anyway, sorry, that's a little off topic. But we love playing games that we played as kids. My husband played more games than I did. We had the PS2, but I was so involved with a bunch of other things I didn't really have time for games. So, but like I'll go back and I'll play things like Jak and Daxter 1. I'm like, I can't control my camera how I want. How did I ever do this? But I love playing the game again because it's my childhood and the nostalgia is there. So yeah, for sure we have like Nintendo Switch Online, and that's been fantastic. Like we've been like my husband played like the older Zelda games and stuff like that, and we give like ye old classic Mario to our kids, and they're like, what are we supposed to do? And so we're teaching them like the basics of video. Well, like my 8-year-old, she's beyond that now, but we're trying to teach like our 2-year-old how to do stuff, and it's just fun. Like there's no point in having to like download and install these like miniature games. Like they don't take up a whole lot of space anymore, but having online compatibility for all of these things that just, they're short and they're cute and they make me happy. So yeah.
Exactly. They're there for the people that want them. Like that. I think it has this place. So this is not the critical mass that I think people like to make it out to be.
Well, the other thing too is that like specifically like Nintendo's the Nintendo Online has a bunch of other benefits as well, like cloud saving and those other things, and it's like $20 for like what, a year?
Yeah.
So why
year
wouldn't you get it?
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's kind of how we feel about like Disney Plus. Like we stream all of these old movies and stuff, and we're like, these are so terrible, but they're amazing.
I tried to watch, I don't know. Okay, so this is going to be a child of the 90s thing or 80s, 90s thing as well. Any of y'all remember Ernest? Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Rides Again, Jim Varney.
Ernest P.
Worrell. And I tried to watch one of the movies, and I was like, this was the funniest thing in the world to me as a kid. Him getting, shot in the head with a nail gun and stomped on a brick and it hit him in the face. And I'm watching it now and I'm like,
that's
why
how I feel
did
about,
I ever think this is funny?
That's how I feel about things like Home Alone. It was like, I thought this was hilarious when I was a kid. It was a little cringy because it was like, I don't like people getting hurt. It's not funny to me. Like pain humor is not funny to me.
Thank you, Dom.
Dom is giving a
that
hard
is a
no
classic.
on that right there.
We watch it every Christmas.
Yeah, but like my husband put it on the other day. I was like, can we please turn this off? I don't want our children to start hitting each other.
Hey, Avery, I want to know if Pee-wee's Big Adventure still holds up.
I'm going to have to watch that again. Paul Rubens is hilarious, but that one could also be one that may not hold up. Dom, you and Dan have not had a chance to weigh in here. Dom, what is your...
One last thing. Oh, I just want to point out, nostalgia is one of the most like... how fear is one of the most like instinctual responses people can have. Nostalgia is as well. You literally cannot control nostalgia for things. That's why backwards compatibility, and that's why reselling Skyrim, and that's why online services like this work, is because nostalgia is something you cannot control, and that's why people get into them.
That's literally what we're doing right now. Is just having a nostalgia session because we couldn't help it. Dom, what's that classic game from your childhood, which was all of 3 years ago, that you want to play again? You young and
he's older than me by like 2 years.
I think I'm in the minority. I'm one of those few that I honestly don't care about like backwards compatibility. Like I've played those games 5 years ago. I don't want to play them anymore. Like I have no intention of playing anything from my PlayStation 2 days or my Xbox 360 game days, because they were good then, but like I've got better games to play now. Like, yeah, I could probably sit and play, I don't know, like I used to absolutely love the Star Wars Jedi Knight series, like Jedi Academy. Even my first like memory of a like proper game was Dark Forces 2. It was the first multiplayer game I ever played. We had a demo, my brother and I, and we hooked up our PCs on LAN, and we played this one map you could do and like just swiped each other with lightsabers. And I get the nostalgia thing. Like I don't know if anyone ever played them series, but the cutscenes were all like live action. They'd real actors in. And I sat and watched like basically the entirety of all the cutscenes on YouTube, and I was just like, wow, this is awful. But like at the time I was like, wow, this is amazing. But like now I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like anyone, like this is like a school project kind of thing. Like like I'm kind of with like, I think it was Jim Ryan, he's the PlayStation guy, basically said, it's like people come out all the time saying they want these games like to play these old games, but when we actually put them there, the demand just isn't there.
Yep.
People ask for it but don't actually really ever use it. It's that kind of thing of like, oh, it's cool, it's nice to know it's there, but I'm never actually going to play it.
I wonder if part of the ask is because someone's like, I have the PS2, I never had the PS3 or the PS4 or whatever, and now I'm at a point where I want the PS5, but I still want to play the PS3 and the PS4 games that I didn't have a chance to do. So maybe for those people, backwards compatibility is really important. And they're probably granted a very small amount of people, but I could see it being very beneficial for those who skipped generations and want to be able to play games.
But I think for people, though, I think given a chance, if they played it, it probably will be dated anyway, right? So if you're talking about the PS5 versus like a PS2 and 3, you probably played like what Jacob said was awesome. I want to chime in. Resistance, Fall of Man, those was my series, man. Right now, I bet I would go back and would love to play it. But would it really hold up? So to Scarlett, I'm curious. Oh, man, dude, that's Resistance Part 3.
Well, there's some games that last through the times. Like, I mean, we played Uncharted 1, right. Nathan Drake, and I believe it was it might have been a PS2 game.
No, I think it
was 3. Those are early.
3, yeah. So I mean, PS3
Super Mario 64, 100% holds up right now.
And
like Nintendo games can never like
Nintendo games doesn't matter. They're all super simple anyway. Like, come on, man. They're the same exact. Like you played it when you played it currently, it was like felt like it was old gen to whatever it was on. Right?
But even for 64, I'd rather play the DS remake of it because the DS remake looks way better and plays way better. And it has more variability than I'm going to play than the original one. Granted, yeah, it probably plays fine, but.
Right.
I mean, this was the proposition for me for Stadia was that I did not have I've said it before, my last console before Stadia was the PlayStation 2. So I didn't play 15 years worth of video games. And so to be able to play Final Fantasy 15 and Assassin's Creed and all these games I didn't play. Now, I played a few of these on Stadia that have been released on Steam and stuff and have been like, or on Pro and been like, okay, that was 5 minutes I'm never getting back. But like, the Tomb Raider series, it's getting up to about 10 years old now. Those games slap. Every last one of them, all
Skyrim is literally everywhere.
I would say, like Eli said about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, like I did for a while, like this was a couple of years ago, I think I played GTA 3 on my phone because it got released on Android. But that's simply because I didn't have an opportunity to play new games on my phone, but now with Stadia and with other cloud platforms, I can do that. So I have no intention of then buying these older games and playing them again when I can play the latest and greatest games there. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. If I didn't have like the option of Stadia or whatever, then maybe I would on Android play these games again. But because I can now play these AAA games that are brand new, I can play FIFA 21 on my phone when I'm at work. Like,
yeah, and it's not to say that some games don't hold up really well. You said San Andreas holds up very well, and I'm sure I haven't got back to it. I'm sure it does, but those are a few outliers in a pool of games that just control terribly. Like even with the Legacy Edition for Mass Effect, I remember seeing someone saying they went back to try to play Mass Effect 1 a year or two ago, and they said it was just unplayable to me. It's just so dated. And then they posted recently that they're going to be fixing the handling of the one vehicle that I never played Mass Effect personally. It's a big black mark on my maybe now with the remake I will, but people were saying like, oh, they're fixing these things. Oh, great! I should go back and play this now because they're fixing things I really hated about that game and did not age well. So,
and then let me jump in there, Jacob. Here's the thing too. So Mr. Herbert said, oh, but I seen you playing Scott Pilgrim. It's like a Nintendo game or Scott Pilgrim or Grand Theft Auto. Those games are so simple. Grand Theft Auto, you just walk and get in the car and drive. Like there's nothing to it. But if you were to play like, if you jump to play Resistance, right, where the fast, quick turning, but like now all the games we've been playing, that might not hold up as well.
Yeah.
But, I'm playing Mario, right, and I'm just gonna jump and hit. So that's not fair. Like Scott Pilgrim, dude, it's just 2D. I'm just punching people in the face.
And the art style holds up too. Certain games with the art styles will hold up well too.
So. Right.
Celeste will always look good 20 years from now because that's kind of what they did was a game that looks like it's 20 years old already.
Exactly.
Dan, you haven't jumped in on this. We'll give you a chance to get your 2 cents in as we begin to wrap up.
Sonic.
Sonic Mania is one that looks great too. I love Sonic Mania.
Yeah, you heard me at the beginning of the show say that I played Sonic 3 on my phone last night, and I'm a big fan of Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania to me is the right it's the cross between the nostalgia of the old games and bringing it, relevant now, up to date. So I like to see remasters. I like to see, taking the old style and bringing it to the current, like Sonic Mania. But I have a bit of a funny story to tell you before I kind of go into my views too much about backwards compatibility. Now, obviously, we have like games conferences over here in the UK, and there used to be a one called Game Fest or something like that, which I believe was hosted by our version of like GameStop at the time. And it was around about the time when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was coming out, Sonic Generations, and again, I mention this every single podcast almost, but I used to run an Xbox website called Xbox Resource, and we got press passes to go, and it was literally
Hey,
just
Dan, did you ever run an Xbox website by any chance? I'm just wondering.
No, never.
Got it.
But yeah, we got press passes to go, and it was literally like the next city down from me, so it wasn't far to go. Me and my friend went, and we queued up, played Modern Warfare 2, played Sonic Generations, played a few other games that I wasn't really that fond of. And then I saw there was like in the middle, there was this retro thing that had got like Sega Mega Drives and Genesis set up and stuff like that. And one of them had like Sonic 3 on it. And I was like, okay, that's me. So I sat down and I completed Sonic 3. You know what I mean? With all the Chaos Emeralds and everything. Like, and my mates just stood there like, dude, we could literally go and play some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 if you want. If like it's not even out yet. You're one of the first people to play this game. Or even Sonic Generations. Like, you love Sonic the Hedgehog, and you know what I mean? Instead of playing Sonic Generations, you're playing Sonic 3 from like 20 years ago. And it depends to me what game it is. Like, some games stand the test of time. Like, I will never not like Sonic the Hedgehog. But then, like, I can't go back and play the original Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, because I hate the camera style. And, you know what I mean? Unless you've got the auto aim, like, I cannot aim for toffee on it. So...
For toffee?
Yeah,
that's a great one. I like that.
that's a new one for me.
So yeah, it all depends on the game, and I think it all depends on the type of person you are and your love for the game originally. But anybody that knows me knows that I am a big advocate of choice. I would rather you have the option of having this game on backwards compatibility and not using it than not having it when you want it. And I'm sure a lot of the games, it depends how far back you go. I guess, obviously, the further you go back, the easier it is to port these games to next-gen consoles. I mean, I can't imagine it would take much to port, you know what I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 to the new Xbox or the new PlayStation, for example. But, yeah, one of the other things I wanted to mention as well is that, like, you say that the demand is there, but then when they release, if it doesn't take that much effort to bring these games to the platform, then you know what I mean. It's one of those things you can kind of say, well, it doesn't matter if it doesn't sell as well or if nobody plays it, because it's not really taken much skin off our back. And then Avery made a good point as well about missing generations. Like, the last PlayStation I owned was the PlayStation 2. I then subscribed to Xbox 360. I have a PlayStation 3 upstairs. I got given a PlayStation 3, but I've never played it. It just got turned into a glorified Netflix machine for the spare room. And so there are, you know what I mean, 3 generations of PlayStation games that if I was to get a PS5 tomorrow, you know what I mean, I would like to be able to go back and say, well, hey, I can actually play X, Y, and Z now that I own a PS5. I wouldn't have to go back and buy. I wouldn't want to go back and buy a PS4 to play just one game.
I think especially right now with the PS5 and the Series X being what they are, like they really feel like, having had the PS4 and now the PS5, it is a huge difference. So like, people have waited to get to these two to then be like, okay, I'm now buying a console. So you know, having that option, like, I'd rather have more than enough options than not enough.
Yeah, I think everything you're saying is great, but I think Aaron killed it for me. If it's free, right? So like you said, Dan, if it's not going to take much work to do it, right? But are they going to do it for free? So are they going to make they're going to port these games over for free, and then am I going to get it for free? So is the developers going to not get paid, and am I going to also get it for free? I think that's the issue. So if they take all this, if they put at work, even if it's a little effort, I'm sure it might have to, somebody got to get paid, right? Hey, I'm working overtime just to make these little old games, right? Let me get paid. So then, are we going to give it to these people for free? Probably not going to be free, because PlayStation Now is not free, right? Because that was their cloud service. Kind of what we talk about is PlayStation Now. PlayStation 4 came out. They said, listen, it's not backwards compatible, but if you get a subscription, you could play all these old games. And, it just didn't do that well. Again, because it didn't play as well, but still, so again, if PlayStation Now was free, I probably would have played a bunch of games.
I think that what you need to do is you need to kind of put them on at a really, really low price, because the thing is, you've got to think that, like, the people that made Sonic the Hedgehog 3, for example, are probably not getting paid from the Mega Drive versions of that game. Like, nobody's going out and buying Mega Drive versions of the game brand new, number one, because they don't exist. So to me, if you're going to release that game, like, even if you release it for like $1 or something, do you know what I mean? That's $1 in the developers' pockets that wouldn't be there otherwise. So or if you make it part of like Xbox Live Gold or something, or so that it's included in your subscription of Game Pass or something, and then they would get a tiny cut from from any version sold. But I also think it's important to have like game preservation as well. I think someone mentioned it previously about preserving these games as well for future generations, because you got to think that, like, I don't know, Call of Duty, all the Call of Duties that come out every single year, like when a new Call of Duty comes out, the Call of Duty that you've been playing isn't necessarily bad. You've just got used to it. But there's people out there that didn't play it that probably would like it. And it's kind of sad to just see games get lost to the sands of time, especially when we have, certain genres coming out once a year.
But do you really need to play Madden 12?
Correct.
Again.
No. Right.
I'll gladly play ESPN 2K 2005. I'll play that.
Depends on how good the teams were, I guess. But I'm joking, because that's the one that everyone says like this was the best like football game, and then Madden bought the license, and
it 100% is. 2K5 is the best football game that they have ever created, and they sold so many copies on Dreamcast, and then
because it's only for $40.
Yeah, Madden was like
cheaper.
Nope, we have exclusive rights now, and it was over.
Yeah. But like, I don't want to play. Like, I used to love the SmackDown games and SmackDown versus Raw games and stuff on the PlayStation, and like, I got to where the new version of the game came out every year, like it did, or every 2 years, I think. I can't remember which, but yeah, and I was like, I actually prefer the older version, because this has got the characters in that I actually like. I mean, as soon as I think it was Here Comes the Pain or something, didn't have Jeff Hardy in or something, and Jeff Hardy's like one of my idols. You know what I mean? I just love the crazy stuff that he does in wrestling. It used to be me when I was a kid. I used to copy and do all his stunts and stuff like that. And as soon as Jeff Hardy wasn't in the game, I wasn't interested. So, like, I probably would go as far as to say now I probably still prefer the older wrestling games than the new ones. So it all depends on the person you are, the game. I don't think there's a one size fits all, but I just know that there's somebody out there. You might say that, I mean, I don't, it doesn't hold up for me, but for someone out there, that's the best game they've ever played and ever will play. And it's all about choice.
Dan, can we just start a Hardy Brothers podcast? I'm into that. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hardy was my fave.
He's still wrestling now.
It's crazy.
Yeah. People would mistake that for the classic series. Well, obviously, everybody's had some really great thoughts on this. I do think the cloud presents an opportunity for this, if only because there's so little overhead for the studios. They just need to figure out a box to put it on in the cloud. And then if somebody wants to play it, they want to play it. If they don't, they don't. But they don't have to do a reissue or a remastering like that. So I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see PS Now populating more of the PS1, PS2 days. I think we're going to see Stadia will get more developers who just want to throw the 10-year-old game on the platform because it's easy. I think we'll see GeForce Now will continue to be a place where you can pull those out of the library. And if you want to play them, play them. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, and I think I saw someone actually post in the chat about getting the GOG library because they already are supporting GOG. Like GOG, that's the whole good old games. That's the whole premise behind it is DRM free old games. So again, getting that library, if they can somehow just flip a switch and add all those games to a server somewhere for the 4 people that are going to play freaking I'm trying to think of an old obscure game, but like just why not? It'd be really cool for that platform and for GeForce Now as well. So
They probably take more manpower making it than the people playing it.
yeah, probably.
Well, and we'll get Scarlett's final thoughts if she joins us again, but I think she has jumped off. She smelled the bacon. It's the bacon.
She's out.
I know. Clearly, she's out. Well, you can give us your thoughts on this very topic. Head over to Gaming Source Net on Twitter @GamingSourceNet and tweet at us the classic game you'd love to see make its way to the cloud. And we'll retweet a few of those that you tweet us @GamingSourceNet on Twitter. So for those of you who were not here at the very, very beginning, we'll say it again. Jake and Aaron, thanks for being on the show tonight, but welcome to the Gaming Source Network. Because as we mentioned at the top of the show, Speaking of Stadia has officially joined GSN and will be broadcasting right here, Speaking of Stadia, on GSN. Your very next show is this Monday night, and you can tune into it at youtube.com/Gaming Source Network. Is that right?
Yep, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, I still got to figure out the podcast feed, how the RSS, if we can redirect it. Because I think we're switching to Anchor, so we got to figure out moving the RSS feed to keep the same link, but I'll figure that out this weekend.
Fine.
So yeah, it should still be hopefully the same locations you're getting our stuff already. Well, at least for the podcast, and then obviously for the video feed, it will now be live on GeForce Network.
What time?
We're 8:30. We shoot for around 8:30 Eastern time. So because that's usually when my daughter goes to bed.
So those of you who are like, why is it so late? Or why do you go so early with the Stadia news? Now you have a source for those of you who live in the States to actually watch at a reasonable hour as opposed to at like 5. Whereas the UK guys were like, early? What do you mean early?
As I'm like signing off of work to jump on this.
Exactly. So there you go. Eli in the chat, the Speaking of Stadia YouTube channel will be there, but their content is going to go live on our channel. So yeah. You'll like 3-4 days later, you might see the video post up there, but the place to watch it is right here on GeForce Now. Because if you want to interact with them live, get those questions in, the super chats, all that good stuff, right here, Gaming Source Network is the place to be with Jake and Aaron. Gentlemen, and follow them at Speak of Stadia, which is a GSN podcast Twitter account now. So follow them at Speak of Stadia. Thank you for being on the show tonight, you guys. I would say where can people find you, but by gum, they can find you right here on GSN. So that just leaves me to say that coming up on the podcast next week, Stadia Dad Games, who did that amazing 24-hour live stream for Fair Share with a bunch of folks who participated, including some faces from around here, including our good buddy Rock, who did a lot of graphic design for them. He will be on the show next week to give us all the details about how that went, and that will be our hot topic. So thank you to him for coming in. And don't miss this Saturday, thanks to Link TV's injudicious use of super chats, you will find Scarlet Scream and Harm City playing in the Condemned Playground. Double facepalm from Dom, my favorite thing in the world. So we are going to be playing Resident Evil 7, God in heaven. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 7. So my face is going to be in the big box, is going to be on the top box. We're going to go in that little kind of side layout. So Resident Evil will be here in the main part of the screen, and then there's going to be Scarlet, and Scarlet's going to be working on her box construction for the Eye of Stormlight set. Check out her Ready Gamer 1 for all those details. So if y'all don't want to watch me, you can watch her. If you need the calming aspect of that, you can watch her and be nice and calm. And if not, and she's going to be there to help keep me calm because I don't like scary games. I hate them. I don't play them ever. So, yes, Anthony.
No, I was going to say, tell the people how this got started who probably missed it.
So last week, or it was maybe 2 weeks ago, just in the chat, we talked about the new pro games were coming out. We mentioned the Resident Evil 7. I mentioned that I don't play them. Somebody on the panel said how much to get me to play it, or maybe Link actually started it himself. And I said $150 and I'll play it on stream, thinking there's no way on earth anybody would do that. And he flippin' super chatted that in the thing. God, goodness in heaven. So I'm a man of my word. I need to have smarter words, but I'm a man of my word. So check out Harm City and Scarlet Scream doing some Condemned Playground. That is Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 UK. Saturday, 12:30, right here on the Gaming Source Network. Also, one other thing to shout out, big ups to the Nerf Report and Bryant Chappell, which has been in the or Chappelle, because I never know how to pronounce it and I refuse to learn, who has been in the chat tonight. Bryant just posted an interview with Dan and yours truly on the Nerf Report on YouTube, talking about the GSN transition and Stadia Source and the future Stadia Source and all that good stuff. So go check out that video if you want to learn more about.
Avery, can I real quick just doll it up a little bit? That was really modest, guys. The cool thing about that video is it was so honest and so transparent. And if you feel any type of inkling of the GSN, I'm not sure, you watch that video and you will understand everything. It's about 44 minutes, but it's a must watch because it will really make you appreciate not only Dan but also Avery. Because I even said to Dan, I said that was awesome because you was 100% transparent, and I respect that. And everything you said, the questions he asked. And so, guys, this is the place to be, but you have to watch that video. If you're on the edge because of the change, you watch that video, you will respect GSN 100%.
There you go. But you got the recommendation from the cowboy right there, keeping it real. If you've been watching us live, obviously we appreciate each and every one of you that's been hanging out with us in the chat. And we also appreciate all of these amazing folks over here who have supported us on YouTube, including Consigno, Jack, and Stadia Streamer and Stadia Vet Gaming in the Crystal tier, the Platinum tier, the Gold tier, the Silver tier, the Bronze tier, and the folks who have bought us a coffee, and and Raven Anime, who also joined the Crystal tier today. We appreciate all of those folks, and even these folks who had previously. Dom Schmidt Test has finally moved off the list. We've exhausted their 99 pence.
Yes.
And there we go. You can hit that join us on YouTube button, or you can buy us a coffee right there, and you can see that full list of supporters there in the Our Supporters area. That just leaves me to say good night to our panel of roundtablists. Dan, thank you for being on your show.
Thank you for having me on my show.
Dom, good to chat with you as always.
Good to chat. Sorry. Hello. Yes, goodbye.
Dom is back at the beginning of the show now and thinks that we just started over, so I don't know what's going on there. Anthony, we will catch you just after this stream for the Power Up Plus.
Yes, sir. I got to attend to these horses right now. Good talking to you guys.
Jake and Aaron, welcome to the team, and thanks for being on the show
Thanks
tonight.
for having us.
Thanks for having us. It was great.
So good. If you are listening, absolutely. If you are listening to the podcast in podcast form, courtesy of Matt Popham, our brand new audio engineer, big thank you to him. You can join us live most Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can download our podcast on Spotify Pocket Casts and everywhere else you get podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GamingSourceNet. Like us on Facebook, wax nostalgic about the 90s. Join our Discord at stadiasource.com/Discord, and keep an eye out for all new GSN, GeForce Now Source, and Stadia Source merch on the Stadia Source on the merch store. Hosting generously provided by Rock. If you are looking for a web developer, want to launch the next big app, or just find yourself in need of some technical expertise, check out all the services provided by Rock at rokk.co.uk. If you haven't already, down below is a thumbs up button that lets us know you enjoyed the show. And right next to it is a subscribe button that lets you know every time we post a new video. You can also become a member of the Gaming Source Network channel by clicking the join button down below with great perks at every level of your budget. I've been your host, Avery, and on behalf of the Gaming Source Network, thank you for tuning into your number one source for all things gaming. Have a good one.